The night air was sharp, the kind that made your breath look like smoke. On a quiet street, a man in his late 30s, Michael, a single dad, froze mid-step. Just ahead, under the dim glow of a flickering street lamp, a little girl no older than 6 slept curled up on a wooden bench, her tiny backpack clutched against her chest. But what stopped him cold wasn't just the child. It was the woman sitting beside her, head bowed, hands trembling. When she lifted her face, Michael's world shifted. Before we dive in, drop a comment with where you're watching from, and don't forget to hit subscribe for more videos like this. Let's begin. Michael's instincts as a father kicked in instantly. He rushed forward, his boots crunching on the pavement. Hey, is she okay?" His voice carried both urgency and fear. The woman looked up, startled, her eyes red and swollen. She couldn't have been older than 30. Strands of messy blonde hair clung to her damp cheeks. She whispered, "She's just tired. Please, don't call anyone. We don't need trouble." Michael's chest tightened. His own son, Ethan, was only 8. He couldn't imagine him sleeping outside like this. He crouched low, his voice soft but firm. "I'm not here to cause trouble. I'm a dad too. And no kid should be out here like this." The little girl stirred, mumbling in her sleep, "Mommy, I'm cold." Michael's throat burned. Without hesitation, he slipped off his jacket and draped it gently over her. The woman's eyes widened. Why would you do that for strangers?" Michael looked at her steadily. "Because I've been in dark places too, and I know what it feels like when nobody stops to care." Her lips quivered. She didn't say thank you, but the silence between them was thick with something raw. Shame, fear, and a strange flicker of hope. Michael sat down slowly on the cold bench across from them, his eyes never leaving the little girl. The quiet hum of a passing car echoed faintly in the night, and for a few seconds it felt like time froze. He'd seen hardship before, but nothing cut this deep. The sight of a child, vulnerable, clinging to sleep while the world carried on. The woman shifted uneasily. "You don't have to stay," she whispered, her voice low, almost defensive. Michael shook his head. "If I leave, I'll think about you two all night. I won't be able to sleep." Her shoulders hunched, and she pulled her arms tightly around herself, as though bracing for judgment. "People usually just walk by. They look at us like we're trash, like I failed my daughter." He softened, lowering his voice. "What's your name?" She hesitated, then said, "Emily." "And your daughter?" "Lily." The woman's lips trembled at the sound of her little girl's name. Michael's eyes drifted to Lily, her tiny chest rising and falling beneath his jacket. "Emily, I know you don't know me, but I promise I'm not here to judge you. I'm here because I can't watch a little girl sleep on a bench." Emily looked at him, searching his face for the lie she expected to find. But Michael's expression stayed steady, his tired gray eyes lined with sincerity. Finally, her walls cracked. She whispered, "We had a place. I was working double shifts at a diner, but the owner cut staff and I was the first to go. Rent fell behind, then the eviction notice came. I tried family. No one wanted to help. So now, this." She gestured around them with a helpless wave of her hand. Michael's gut clenched. He'd been on the edge once, years ago when Ethan was just a baby, and his wife walked out. He remembered the nights of staring at bills, wondering what he'd have to sell just to keep the lights on. That fear, the kind that gnawed at your soul, was etched in Emily's every word. "You're stronger than you think," he murmured. She scoffed bitterly. strong I can't even give my daughter a bed. What kind of mother am I?" Michael leaned forward, his voice firm but gentle. "The kind of mother who's still here. You didn't leave her. You didn't give her up. That's strength, Emily." Her eyes shimmered, and she turned away quickly, wiping her cheeks as if ashamed of the tears. Silence lingered until Lily stirred again, coughing softly. Michael's heart lurched. He slid his backpack off his shoulder and rummaged through it. Pulling out a thermos, he unscrewed the cap. "I've got some hot chocolate left. Not much, but it's warm." Emily blinked in surprise as he poured a little into the cup and gently lifted Lily's head. The girl's eyes fluttered open, and Michael gave her a small smile. "Hey there, sweetheart. Want a sip?" Lily's sleepy voice was barely audible. "Is it sweet?" Michael chuckled softly. "The sweetest I could make it." She nodded, taking a cautious sip. Her lips curved into a tiny smile, and for the first time that night, Michael felt warmth spread through him. Emily's hand covered her mouth, as if the simple act of kindness was almost too much to bear. "Why? Why are you helping us? You don't even know us." Michael's gaze was steady. "Because someone helped me once. A stranger who didn't have to care. If they hadn't, I don't know where my son and I would be. Sometimes, kindness is the only thing that keeps us standing." Emily's breath hitched, and for a moment, the mask of toughness she wore crumbled. She looked like a woman on the edge, fighting a storm alone for too long. Michael didn't press her. Instead, he said quietly, "Come stay at my place tonight. It's not much, but it's safe, warm, and there's food. You both need rest." Emily stiffened, suspicion flashing in her eyes. "Why would you offer that? What's in it for you?" Michael sighed, the hurt in her tone not lost on him. "Nothing. I don't want anything. I've got a son, Ethan. He's 8. If it were him out here, I'd pray someone would help, that's all." Her eyes darted toward Lily, then back to him. She wanted to say no. He could see it. The pride, the fear, the distrust. But the exhaustion in her body betrayed her. Her lips parted, and for a long moment, no words came out. Finally, she whispered, "Just one night. That's all I'll accept." Michael nodded. "One night, then. Come on." The walk to his apartment was quiet, filled with the distant hum of traffic and the crunch of gravel under their shoes. Lily clung to Emily's hand, her small steps dragging with fatigue. Michael carried her backpack to lighten the load. When they reached his building, Emily's eyes scanned the modest place. It wasn't fancy. Just a simple 2-bedroom apartment with peeling paint and an aging staircase. But it was home. Inside, Ethan was sitting on the couch, homework spread across the coffee table. His eyes widened at the sight of Emily and Lily. "Dad, who are they?" Michael set the backpack down gently. "This is Emily and her daughter Lily. They're staying the night with us." Ethan blinked, then smiled shyly at Lily. "Hi, want to sit with me? I've got cookies." Lily's face lit up, and for the first time all evening, she let go of her mother's hand. She toddled over to Ethan, curiosity sparking. Emily stood frozen in the doorway, her hands twisting together. She looked out of place, like a guest in a world she no longer belonged to. Michael touched her arm lightly. "You're safe here. No one's judging you." Her lips pressed together, trembling with unspoken emotion. Finally, she whispered, "Thank you, Michael. You don't even know what this means." He gave her a faint smile. "You don't have to thank me. Just rest. Tomorrow's another fight. But tonight you don't fight alone." The hours stretched late into the night. Ethan and Lily eventually fell asleep side by side on the couch, the flicker of the TV casting soft light across their peaceful faces. Michael glanced at Emily, who sat quietly at the kitchen table, staring into her hands. He poured 2 mugs of tea and slid one across to her. She looked up, eyes rimmed with exhaustion, but holding a fragile gratitude. "You don't know me. You don't know what I've done, the mistakes I've made." Michael sipped his tea, his voice steady. "Doesn't matter. Everyone's got a story. Tonight, what matters is that Lily's safe. And so are you." Emily's gaze softened, and for the first time, she let herself breathe. The faint morning light crept through the thin curtains, casting streaks of gold across Michael's modest living room. For a moment, everything looked calm. 2 children bundled under a blanket on the couch, soft breaths in sync, like they'd known each other forever. But Michael's mind was anything but calm. He stood at the window, arms folded, staring down at the street below. He knew the night had been a temporary patch, not a solution. Emily and Lily couldn't live like this, drifting from bench to bench, praying for kindness. He rubbed his temples, the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. He had his own struggles. Raising Ethan on a mechanic's paycheck wasn't easy. Yet, something inside him told him this wasn't an accident. Meeting Emily and Lily felt like fate knocking, demanding he answer. Behind him, Emily stirred. She rose from the kitchen chair where she'd fallen asleep, her hair tousled, her face pale but softer in the daylight. She pulled Michael's jacket tighter around herself, almost embarrassed to still be wearing it. "Morning," Michael said quietly. She flinched, as if surprised he'd stayed awake all night. "I should go. We've already imposed too much." Michael turned to face her, his voice steady but firm. "Imposed?" "Emily, last night your daughter was sleeping on a bench. That's not imposing. That's survival. Don't do this pride thing with me." Her lips pressed into a thin line, shame flickering across her eyes. "You don't understand. People don't just help me. Not without expecting something in return." Michael's jaw tightened, the truth in her words hitting him harder than he expected. "I'm not those people." Her gaze fell, hands twisting in her lap. "Why are you doing this, Michael?" "Because I've been where you are. Because Ethan once looked at me the way Lily looks at you. Hungry, scared, but still believing I could make it right. I won't let that hope die in her." Emily's eyes welled up, and she turned away quickly, as though holding back tears would somehow keep her from unraveling completely. The sound of giggling broke the tension. Ethan and Lily had woken up, their small voices filling the room as they whispered about cartoons and cookies. For a moment, Michael saw something pure. 2 kids laughing without the weight their parents carried. But then came the knock. Sharp, repeated, heavy. Michael's body tensed immediately. He exchanged a wary glance with Emily, who stiffened, her face draining of color. "Who is that?" he asked. She whispered, almost choking on the words, "Please, don't open it." Another round of pounding rattled the door. A male voice boomed, "Emily, I know you're in there." Michael froze. Ethan looked up in confusion, and Lily's little face paled as she clutched her mother's arm. Emily's breathing turned ragged. It's Mark." Michael frowned. "Who's Mark?" Her answer came out broken. "Lily's father." The banging grew louder. "You think you can just disappear with my kid? Open this door before I break it down." Michael stepped closer, his voice low but firm. "Is he dangerous?" Emily's eyes darted to her daughter, then back to Michael. Her silence was enough. Michael's fists clenched. He'd never been a man who sought confrontation, but protecting children, his own or someone else's, awakened something primal inside him. He walked to the door, voice steady but sharp. "You need to leave." From the other side, Mark snarled, "And who the hell are you?" "Someone who won't let you hurt them." The silence that followed was tense, broken only by heavy breathing on both sides of the door. Then came Mark's low growl, "This isn't over. She can't hide forever." His footsteps receded, but the threat lingered in the air like smoke after a fire. Emily collapsed into the chair, her face buried in her hands. "You shouldn't have gotten involved. Now he knows." Michael crouched in front of her, his voice gentle but resolute. "I don't care. He doesn't get to control you anymore. He doesn't get to terrify Lily." Her tears spilled freely now, her walls finally breaking. "I left him because he drank, because he screamed, because he scared her. But every time I try to get back on my feet, he finds us." Michael's chest ached. He'd seen broken families before, but the rawness in Emily's voice carved into him. "Then it ends here. You're not alone anymore." The day passed in a blur. Michael called in sick at the garage, refusing to leave Emily and Lily alone. He made pancakes for the kids, their laughter filling the kitchen, even as tension simmered beneath the surface. He took Ethan to school later, and when he returned, Emily was sitting at the table with a small notebook open, scribbling. "What's that?" he asked. She looked up, cheeks flushed with embarrassment. "Resumes. I used to be good with numbers, bookkeeping, stuff like that. Maybe if I get something steady." Her voice trailed off, weighed down by doubt. Michael smiled faintly. "That's the fight I was talking about. You're stronger than you think." Her lips twitched into the ghost of a smile. "You make it sound like I have a chance." "You do, and I'll back you until you believe it yourself." That evening, when Ethan returned home, Michael took both kids to the park, while Emily stayed back to shower and breathe. He watched Ethan and Lily chase each other across the grass, their laughter echoing through the dusk. For the first time in what felt like forever, Emily's daughter wasn't clutching her backpack or hiding behind her mother. She was just a kid. Michael sat on the bench, staring at them with a strange mixture of pride and sorrow. He thought about his own losses. The nights Ethan had asked why Mom wasn't coming back, the bills stacked on the counter. But he realized something powerful. Pain didn't just destroy. It also connected. It had brought him here, to this moment. When Emily arrived later, freshly cleaned, her eyes fell on her daughter's laughter, and something in her face shifted. It was as if she'd forgotten what hope looked like until now. She sank onto the bench beside, Michael whispering, "I haven't seen her this happy in months." Michael didn't look at her. His gaze stayed fixed on the kids. "That's what she deserves. And so do you." The night settled in quietly, but Michael knew the storm wasn't over. Mark's shadow loomed, his threats echoing in the back of his mind. But when Emily tucked Lily into the spare bed and whispered, "You're safe now," Michael understood the truth. Safety wasn't just about locks on doors. It was about people who refused to walk away. And he wasn't going to walk away. Not this time.